Again, keep an eye out for the poll. Fellas, how we feeling about this Game 1 draft?
I'm liking both, and I was talking about specifically ONIC Philippines, the advantages they have. But I think even with this Lolita pick from Oh My Venus, it works to counter into that really well. But this is where you see the difference in these Lolita players, right, and how well they are, especially how they play around the conceal and find the angles to set up. But the streak continues. The highest kill participation, 73.15%, 6-week streak. That's what we were talking about in the draft. And we'll see if ONIC Philippines can actually live up to that streak and that title here.
Yeah, meanwhile, BLACKLIST International can't break the code, ranked first in least total deaths with 202. So still very fundamental discipline. BLACKLIST International. I only have one big note here for the drafts of these two teams. I wrote it all caps, underlined, team fight.
Well, they're not getting into it just yet. But do note, it looks like Keketat has a different plan. He doesn't want to oblige down XP lane, although Oh My Venus has visited the Arlot down bottom on Ryota as well. Baksha on Wise checked in. So now, it looks like gold lane might still be the focus.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if this game actually is a low kill score game, maybe around 15
Total?
Total. So who will gain more gold in this game, Nets or Owl? And yeah, it's not going to be an XP lane focus here, but it's going to be Wise going down.
Okay, bottom side, Ryota should be fine, right? He's he's also got the tenacity here. And this is, with Arlot specifically, this is what I see BLACKLIST International wanting to do. Put pressure there, but also, like you guys mentioned, put pressure in the gold lane when you can. And that's what ONIC Philippines has to do. They have to be able to counterplay a lot of that aggression that BLACKLIST International is known for. And now with this first turtle up here, you can see Edward already going to take the brunt of the damage. The vengeance, though. There's the first blood going to the hands of Ryota. Now, Turtle still going to be worked on. Bounce between both teams, but numbers advantage for ONIC Philippines. They can't commit to it just yet, though.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that ONIC actually didn't decide to hold that turtle, and they allowed Wise to reset it. I think they're really looking at the ultimates of the Lolita here as something that they are going to watch out for. That's why they're a bit cautious.
Oh, the charge up. They do find it. That's the turtle as well. Sensui grabs it while charge is going to come out. Yue grabbing a kill himself. But all is done after that. Ryota did fall. And the turtle goes in the hands of ONIC Philippines.
Looks like a wash to me. Again, they got a kill on the backswing, but ONIC can actually use this to snowball. ONIC can usually take these trades and then, again, just rely on nets. Eventually, it's all going to end up with nets.
Yeah, and you saw there so many tools for interruption for the Numenon Blast of the Lolita. The Queen was charging it up, but it was just the toss of the Guardian's Barrier of the Grok. That huge rock wall that got to interrupt it. So both teams right now just... well, very textbook, honestly. Fight around the turtle, try to contest it, and then at the same time, just give a little bit more space for your gold laners to farm up. It's going to be in the team fights and the major objectives where we're going to see a lot of action.
Now about a minute until the second turtle comes up. ONIC with a very small lead, again, 200 gold. And what's interesting is it's not on the gold lane, actually. A lot of the gold difference might be coming from these rotations. And yeah, look, BLACKLIST kept to their own side. This is a 4v4 waiting to happen.
Yeah, they know. I mean, there's a lot of good information that both of these the teams are getting for each other. And I think, I agree with Renmar here. You're not going to see too much action early on, except every time that objective pops up, right? Because there really isn't a huge opportunity here, the way both these teams are playing around this kind of macro playstyle for pickoffs to happen here, right? Oh My Venus is going to flicker around, so doesn't have that leading into this next objective.
Okay, so in the pro scene, that is a very big deal. Those little sequences, those little moments to force out a key ability such as Flicker, ONIC got a good one there.
Yep, 10 seconds away from the turtle. Wise, this whole time having much, much better battlefield rotational speed, pressuring Sensui. And just in time for this turtle to come in, I think both are just going to agree to delay. Unless BLACKLIST wants to go faster.
Yep, full info now for ONIC that BLACKLIST are going to be committing for this turtle.
Yeah, Super Prince grabbing the exact ultimate he needs for this, just like he did last time, right? He had the real-world manipulation available, and now they're going to play around this. So it's going to be him and Yue setting up those boxes. Both gold laners at the bottom side. There you go. Yue pops his. Turtle's still going to be worked on now. Super Prince. Sensui grabs the turtle again. No one falling, though. Super Prince should be able to get out. Has the help of the team as well. Gets a little more pokes in and backs off. ONIC Philippines with another objective.
Clean.
Very clean. Once again, the Numenon Blast getting interrupted. And this will be a very difficult game for Lolita. All the picks on the side of ONIC can disrupt that key ability for Blacklist International. While the Turtle was getting led up by these two teams, actually, the Gold laners have switched lanes. They've gone to the bottom lane now, formerly the XP lane. Still quite close in the farm. Demon Hunter Sword already for Al. Meanwhile, Nets still just picking different pieces of different items. But once around minute 7, 8 hits, he'll have 2 main items already if he doesn't get taken out.
Yeah, he's on his way to possibly a Hunter Strike or a Cursed Helm. He has so many choices. If they're ahead, he goes ahead, picks up the Hunter Strike. No problem.
Exactly. So BOD was the first build-up there for Nets. Might be rushing a Malefic Roar if they really want to feel that power spike for a Beatrix.
Yeah, that looked like that might have been ONIC Philippines. That needs to take a little breather here. But you said it, Redmar, probably going to be low kill, right? We're at what? It's a 1-1 across the board here. But right now, I got to say, this is what we saw from the draft, man. ONIC Philippines, they had this team composition that really gives them an advantage in these objective fights. And Sensui has just kind of swept in there, grabbed the turtle, and that is something that Blacklist International wants to adjust to for that third turtle. If not, find it out, figure it out for the Lords, right? Because it's looking almost too easy for ONIC Philippines.
Yeah.
Something tells me the Baksha pick might be, I'd say it's out of its time.
Yeah.
Looking at the whole lineup from ONIC and looking at Blacklist, what's wise to do in these Lord fights, right? Unless they come in winning, unless they come in a 4v5 or they come in with like a perfect Numenon Blast, what's the Baksha to do besides make this a softer spot for the sustainable heroes of ONIC PH?
Yeah, it's just for safety. They just really wanted to get a very tanky jungler that wouldn't have to worry about his own life, to be able to contest with that Marthus. Of course, again, heroes we mentioned earlier, in that situation, Blacklist would not have picked up the Akai. They're up against a Valentina. That's going to be a difficult option for them. So everything that they've front-loaded in are heroes that theoretically will support the Claude and, well, technically the Joy. He's going to be the second option here for the damage. Well, they do still have the Eve, but even the Eve is to support the Claude and the Joy. So all the slows, those little increments of magic damage getting dished out by the Eve, the Baksha, will be so that they can supplement the main damage dealers of Blacklist.
So the name of the game right now for ONIC PH is to break that code, essentially.
Yeah.
Just make sure that the Claude doesn't find those free hits. Make sure that the front line is stifled. And they've been doing an amazing job at it for the first 6 minutes of this game. Just stop the Numenon Blast. This is great practice for those higher pressure situations later on.
Yeah, well, Renmar called this, right? There's multiple ways to stop the Numenon Blast, and that's really why, you know, Oh My Venus has to be able to find the angles later on to land those Numenon Blasts, because, you know, it's unfortunate when something like the Guardian's Barrier is enough to just cancel it out, right? That little movement here. But, you know, this is, again, a game of basically minutes for both of these teams. But right now, ONIC Philippines just having a better early game, securing the objectives they want to. And I guess you'll have to see exactly what the Baksha can provide as we get to that mid to late game.
Yeah, it's an old principle against Blacklist International. When you go up against them, you just have to put yourself in a situation where, in terms of what they have to pull off in the game, is simple. Just play better than Blacklist. And right now, ONIC are doing that. They've put themselves in this position where they can just say, hey, right now we're playing better than Blacklist. But the thing that we have to watch out for here is the power spike. The Beatrix and the Claude will hit. No deaths yet for the respective marksmen of both teams. And this could just explode into one big team fight, giving one team full control.
Sensui here with a pull, and Wise jumps in.
Oh, everybody actually getting a fight for this one. Turtle still worked on. There's the charge up. Kekadu does fall, and Edward going to force two members back here. Sensui, perfect on the Turtles, does grab it again here under the noses of Blacklist International. So they lose a member, but they grab another Turtle.
Sensui still on point. He just walked up to that Turtle.
That's what he's been doing, man. It's just coming in, taking it.
Yoink fight.
It's less about Sensui just coming in. It's because Blacklist kind of left that turtle pit. They went and tried to punish ONIC head on, but the rest of ONIC backed out. They decided, like, you know what? Okay, we're happy with Kekidot for now.
Yeah.
We're just 7 minutes in, but I don't think they saw that Sensui was going to stay.
Yeah, the abilities they used to get that early lead in that fight and then to counter punish while ONIC were run away meant that Sensui could just do that, walk up to it, even though he didn't have an ability that will, at that time it was on cooldown to avoid control effects. He's like, all right, I've seen what Blacklist already used in this fight. I can just go up and use my Retribution right away. So now all three turtles go on the side of ONIC, but again, it's still very close because of the discipline of Blacklist International. They're not giving up so many opportunities to get picked off by ONIC. If they don't get the turtle, that's it. They're going to back off. Now, though, once the Lord fights start coming up, that's going to be the big question. How much are teams going to be able to, or how much are they willing to commit in the Lord fights?
Oh, they left Owl to his own devices. That's dangerous. I wonder if they can get one back from up top. It's 3 on Edward. Make that 4. Here comes Wise. Oh, they intercept Sensui.
Yeah, a lot of focus there. You know, this is about what Wise can do in the box show. He can get around the map very quickly, but still, how does this turn out for the team fight for them? Owl's going to start to shine here.
Yeah.
You can already see, right? So, again, this is what we were talking about in the draft where both these teams, the pacing is set by the roamers, which they've done. Pacing is kind of steady, right? But now we're at the point in the game, especially with this Lord coming up here, where both gold laners, this is their time to shine. They've had the past 9 minutes to pretty much have a good time farming up. And now it comes down to how do they turn this team fight around in their favor with everything they've farmed up to this point. You can even see the XP laners making their way for this Lord dance.
This is Lord dance started early. Again, as soon as the Lord spawned, both Sensui and Wise were at the scene, and there's a Numinum Blast coming in from my Venus. Super Prince still has the RWM. Oh, look at Edward.
Okay, he pushed Nets back. Oh. They're down a couple of the ultimates, though. Now Wise in the real world manipulation. They get the wild card. Kekidot still survives, though. Edward does chase him down. Finds the kill here. Now with the numbers advantage, Blacklist International going to go ahead and start this Lord. It was quite messy. Sensui getting some warning shots from Owl. Edward on the hunt to push him back further.
Wow.
Nets quite low, has to get out, and just like that, Blacklist International turning things around in that fight. They give up the 3 turtles, but they get the Lord.
Masterfully done. This is exactly what Blacklist was planning to do all along. They've actually conditioned ONIC-PH to try and stop the Numinon Blast, but at the end of the day, that's not what mattered.
Yep, the Starfield, the real world manipulation coming out of UA on point. Kekidot got caught with his pants down, and for a moment, it seems like ONIC forgot that Blacklist International's XP laner is a joy. One of the most punishing to go up against, the kill chaser for the lineup, and instantly we saw it. Once Kekidot was low, even though he committed that flicker, Edward came in for the chase, and then Edward single-handedly stopped the other members of ONIC from being able to contest. A small window of opportunity was what Blacklist found. They've kicked the window down and have made themselves a door.
Essentially what that does is it isolated Nets, and you saw the Beatrix was pushed back all the way into their orange buff, and that was just off timing completely. And now it's Blacklist's time.
Wow.
They're the ones who are dictating the pace, they're the ones pushing lanes, and up top, Owl takes down a tier 2. Bottom might be up next.
Like, if you think about it, with the lineup from Blacklist International, the fact that they can push ONIC Philippines back with just Edward on Joy, but also Owl, now that he's online with his quad. Charge up, though. Gonna find 2 with the Numinum Blast. Most RDM coming out. Nets does fall, though. And now they're trying to fire back. Owl quite low. Falls himself 3 down for Blacklist International. What looked like a fight that was theirs. They lose the members here. Still going, Edward. 2 versus 1, make it 3 versus 1. He has to get out of here. He already had used the ultimate. Sensui Super Friend's gonna flicker in. Edward, can he escape it? He bombs, he weaves. Edward lives to fight another day.
Abunjing gets away with it. And this Joy is exactly why you should ban the hero. He got away with so much.
That was 3 versus 1.
3v1. I really thought he was down for the count. But somehow he made that Joy look like it had a flicker on, but no, that is still a vengeance on that Joy. And now ONIC, though, they made a terrible situation into something good. They walked away with 3 kills. They couldn't get Edward down, but no, Ryota in a dire situation.
Okay, Ryota. I don't think he's going to be like Joy, not going to be able to escape this 3 versus 1. Finally falls to Owl. Sensui was trying to get there, but look at the top side.
Yeah.
They're putting some pressure here. Gonna look to get this tier 2, Kekadut and Nets. Looks like they're gonna be happy with that and back off.
Very disciplined, these two teams. We saw what Blacklist International did to the map of ONIC after they took the turtle. Now, after finding a breath of fresh air, countering Blacklist International's attempt in the mid lane, they got towers up top.
Okay, there's the Newman Blast, but there's gonna be no follow-up. Super Friends just gonna take that one, and now Lord is up once again. Both teams looking to get in possession here.
So far, so good. That last engagement where ONIC punished Blacklist over Zealous engage in mid puts him at about a 50-50 chance. Like, this Lord is at least a Lord that they can contest. Now, it's Luminous, folks. It will charge into main objectives. And, man, the pressure that Edward is putting on the map is pushing Ryota's Arlot away. I'm not feeling this Arlot, not quite yet.
Yeah, because of both teams drafting really well for team fights, ONIC leaned in on that idea really hard, which meant that Blacklist got to pick a hero that can team fight incredibly well, but at the same time also create space for the rest of the map that this Joy is a problem. The split pushing, the side towers for ONIC, that they might end up having to face 4v4, which will turn into a 4v5 because Edward will be able to get back to the fight in time.
Gentlemen, Owl just stole the purple. Sensui and Super Friends are purpleless.
Well, still, even given the situation, this is just dragging out that Lord Dance even further. Hopefully they can utilize what they've stolen, but for ONIC Philippines, they're doing a great job at really just extending this and even dealing with the pressure that Edward is putting on the top and now even focusing a little bit on the bottom side here.
Now, we're seeing exactly how Blacklist is setting this up. Again, they're taking their time. They're giving the orange over to Owl. And look at where Yu is putting himself. I'm not sure if Super Friends has an ult yet. Oh no, he has the rhythm and beats.
Has the ultimate key abilities up for both teams. The ultimate on the Valentina though.
Okay, he decided to go ahead and use it, but again, still, Super Friends also has that Joy ultimate. Look at that, the pressure on the backside! Super Friends does survive, but Nets left all alone. The pressure was too much. Now caught in their RWM. Ryota trying to get out of here on this Arlot. Will he be able to escape? Edward goes in. There's the final slash. He gets back, though. They try to counterpunch. Ryota still amidst it all. 3 versus 3 in the jungle. Kekadut with the wild charge. No follow-ups just yet. They get the flicker out. Edward pushing them back. Whole lot of action. Nobody falls here. And now Lord again for Blacklist International.
They're short on firepower. ONIC may have found the perfect counter engage, but Nets wasn't around.
Nets was down, and a Valentina at this point not yet enough in terms of damage. There's a lot of control for ONIC, but you said it, Leo, not enough firepower without that Beatrix. ONIC were WTD, way too deep. They forgot they didn't have their second tower in mid. That was an easy conceal, rush, ultimate catch call by Blacklist International. Hell of a play there by Oh My Venus and the rest of Blacklist.
And now with just spending one flicker, right? Blacklist are at the cusp of penetrating ONIC-PH's base. Check mid here. Lord's gonna crash in, and just like that, permanent damage. ONIC-PH have to consider.
They're gonna get wise. They should be able to get him down here. Still has the Immortality team following up there. The cancel comes through. Wise still alive. Bobbing and weaving for a little bit longer, but Super Friends finally getting the kill. They still got the Lord. They finally get that down as well. The damage is done, though. They lost the mid turret. But ONIC Philippines still staying in the game here.
Again, this is good news, bad news for ONIC. They can clear waves. They're online again for most of the game, whether they're playing early, mid, late, ultra late. But Blacklist's execution, Blacklist's approach to these team fights have been, I'd say, almost spot on in the later half. Starting at 8-9 minutes, they've been catching on and sleeping.
Yeah, Athena Shield's already in the hands of the Joy and the Claw. Kekadut down low!
This is bad. Okay, the Numenor Blast gonna land. Kekadut flickers out. There's the follow-up. Owl comes in. UA grabs the kill, though. Still, the pressure is there. Edward doesn't have the ultimate available just yet, but looking for an angle here that he can find one. Super Friends goes in. There's the final slash, too. The shutdown comes through. Sensui as well, still on the hunt for Owl. Owl can't get away. Pops the win chance, but it's not enough. Sensui grabbing another one, 3 down for Blacklist International. ONIC Philippines with a huge play as they march down the mid lane.
Deja vu, but this time around, ONIC might actually capitalize. They're converting into mid.
Onyx Prince, that was promised with a massive Numenon blast. As of Valentina, it's just Venus and Wise. The Royal Duo, can they hold on here?
I think they can hold on. They got 1 minute to work on. Another wave coming through. They've got a couple seconds for Edward and UA. They've got to buy time. Numenon blast can charge up. Final slash, and Nets goes in. Takes the crystal out. Taking game 1 for ONIC Philippines.
Massive.